ride.
Oh, am I not in shot? G'day race fans, it's Adrian here, and welcome back to Just a Ride. G'day people, hope we're all well. Welcome back to the second part, final part, trust me, of the engine reassembly. I thought it best, just for, digestion's sake, not to give the YouTube world a good solid hour or so of me. So I'll just, little bite-sized portions I'll give you. You're welcome to just quietly. So, where were we? What was I doing? Where did I leave you? No. Adrian, focus, mate. Yeah, that's it. I was on the clutch basket. I just put the clutch basket on and I was about to put the water pump right side outer casing on. So let's kick it off from here. That's all I needed, wasn't much. New button head fastenings, thank you very much. Let's just do a little testy here. Looks good to me. What? Why are we going backwards now? Good question, guys. So I had my bag of right side clutch cover casing bolts and I was putting them all together and I came across these little guys, and I know too well they are bearing retainers. So this is where you go back to your photos that you took, and there is, on the inside of that right case, see my two little guys there? So I've got to go back in, get it out, get those two in, and then back to where we were. Public service announcement, I'm kind of happy that I missed those two bearing retaining tabs, because it's made me take this off, and yeah. If you're not already looking at the top tab, start doing so. So you reckon when that falls off like that, and that's bouncing around inside that engine, do you reckon that's going to be any good? I'm not a mechanic, like I've said plenty of times, but I don't reckon that bit of shrapnel bouncing around inside there is any good. So we'll take that out. That was a drop there for those of you who are not in Australia. That was a drop there. Okay, I believe the term is called due diligence, and I respect it. All right, let's get back to it. Whew. Got it. So we're all up to date now. Okay, let's get a bit of reed valve assembly in here. And that will go over the front. A bit of stator action. That goes that away. Okay. So I think I have a new height, and that is the standard headed bolt. Oh, I thought the Phillips head sucked. I need to ensure that my ignition mark, there we go, on the money. So there's a couple of little lines, dashes that, like, you know, on the case, on the backing plate that I just put on, and then subsequently on the magneto as well. So you just got to make sure all of them line up so it's firing at the right time. Yep, I'm happy there. Mr. Magnet, actually, before I do, because I won't be able to get in there once that's on, I'm going to ensure that, oh, 2 dots, gluttony. It's Christmas, right? Now I have a woodruff key on this crank, right there. Yep, and there's my woodruff key mark there. There we go. Felt and looked nice as I did that. Actually, before I go anywhere, I'll get the appropriate socket size for this. Full power. Say it with me. Come on. You know you want to. Alright. Actually, I'll start with bedding it on there. Then I'll give it a bit of full power. Power. I'm going to call that on. Oh, brand new piston, eh? How about that? Let's just get a bit of loving on the wrist pin bearing. Oh, that's the goodness right there. Let's get this in its home up there. So, directional. That point toward the front end. I've already got one piston clip in the other side. So when I drive this wrist pin through, I probably should get it in the piston first. How's the tolerances? Like you know, that's not going to fit. No, it does. Just the tolerances so low. Oh, that just always impresses me about motors. Let's just get that little, this little bugger of a clip in there. Alright, talk amongst yourselves, guys. I'll see you next Thursday. So these Pro X pistons, actually quite a deep recess into where this clip sits in relation to every other piston I've ever used. Not as deep, so what I did with the other side, I've just done it on this side, is I've just got this piston clip at the moment just seated inside that recess, but not in the actual channel that it's going to sit in. So the channel's a good, you know, sort of 12, 13 mil away. And I'm just going to slide. I really want to hear a nice click, right? That was a nice click, wasn't it? That was a nice click. Hang on, there's another one to be had. There, there you go. There we go, all seated. Yep, pulling the right way, good to go. So piston on, about time for the bloody head. So what we've got here, in any sort of gasket kit, two-strokey, I don't know if is it four strokes as well. Nah, you're right. I've rebuilt four strokes and I haven't found this. But when I've rebuilt two strokes, I have found this as a constant. These are the head gaskets that are going to sit down here between, obviously, the block and the head. And there's more than one of them. And they're of different widths because it's an optional game. What I'm trying to chase is the right gasket that gives me the right measurement of, at top dead center, I need to be X amount. I need to check that number, obviously. But, yeah, I need to be at a specific region within tolerances at the very top dead center in relation to the piston and the top of the head. And obviously you just get a feeler gauge in, a steel rule, flat edge on the top, and you just slide in your distance there. So it could very well be a head off, head on, head off, head on kind of game here. Let's have a go, shall we? Just as a footnote as well, guys, off camera I double checked my work here in relation to you know, the actuating of my power valves, you know. And I'm happy I double checked it because I was incorrect. There were some dots there that I was waffling on about earlier, and I had them incorrect. They are now correct. So we're good to go. Alright, straight away, I know that's too high. But I will put a rule on it anyway, just to be sure, right? Hey, that's almost sitting proud. Let's just go straight for the wee end. Yeah, that is on top of that piston is sitting proud. So that if I were to put that together and got it running, it would have been a hand grenade. So I found my combination of what was it? So there was the thick, there was a medium, and there was a thin. And I'm not using the medium. I'm using the thick and the thin. And I've cinched my head bolts down to torque to ensure that, you know, the cylinder head has travelled all the way down. I'm at top dead center. I have a rule that is resting over the top of the head, and my clearance is, yeah, So my tolerance is between 0 mil and 0.10 mil. I'm 0.3. And obviously the lower the number, the greater the compression. The higher the number, the lower the compression. Like I said, sitting too proud, boom, it hits the top of the cylinder head with hand grenades. Sitting too low, beyond that 1 mil, and it's just as weak as piss and doesn't have enough compression. So 0.03 of a mil. She died. She died. Oop. Lovely. Love it. Okay, I have here a couple of let's get a bit of oil on my hands. The 2 O-rings for the top of my cylinder head here. It just needs a little stretch. Just a little stretch. Just a bit more. Just a little bit more. You can never shrink them, you know. So when you want to stretch them, just step ever so slightly, small increments forward, and just dive into it. Uncomfortably dirty now. Job's a good one. Okay. Cap. Let's put a cap in its ass. It has happened to me before in the act of putting this down. One of those rings falls out of its seat. It can happen, so I'm being super vigilant. I'm trying to get some location of these bolts before I drop the cylinder head down. Alright, double check. Rings have not moved. And I moved anywhere now. It's getting heavy all of a sudden, guys. Jesus, you're close enough, aren't you? Get back a bit, will you? Righto. Now we've both got space. The space we need, yes? The beauty of having done a similar engine before is on my little whiteboard out of camera shot. I actually have the specific torque requirements of these 6 13mm bolts, and that is 25 foot-pounds. I can assure you that's what this is set on right now, 25 foot-pound. So I just got to incrementally step it around. If you don't have the torque wrench, what you can do is you tighten the bolt until it snaps, and then you take off half turn, and you're perfect. Oh yeah, there, finally got to it. Yep. 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 Oh yeah. You know it. Ah! There we go, guys. Got my little. I actually Tarzan gripped the O-rings on my orange gear lever. You may notice a few missing bits. So a couple of these outer caps are still with my man, Frank the Vapor Blaster. And he's sorting them out, so I'm in no rush for them right now anyway. But yeah, oh, hang on. Remember this little, I don't know if I got a good enough shot of that circlip. It's a right bugger. Excuse me for a sec. Now I'm good. Sweet. Let's just give a little test. Another engine comes off the bench. Yeah, so the that little power valve, what is that thing called? I struggle with it every time. The power valve, you know, the meshing of the of those gears up on the cylinder head that opens up the exhaust port. You know, the mistake that I had made, it wasn't really a mistake, it was just a bit of, I didn't cross my T's and dot my I's until a little later on, when I went back and crossed the T's and dot my I's, and I realised that the 2 dots that were on those little cogs needed to be married up when they were in the full open position. So initially on the bench, I had actually set them to be married up in the full closed position. So that was the mistake that I made, and that was easy enough just to relocate them around, get them sorted, and know that it's right. Yeah, what else was there? Yeah, obviously the case, there's a few caps and outer engine casings that are still at my man Frank, the Vapor Blaster. He's sorting them out, and as I always do, I'm happy to. I work under his timeline, not mine. So that they are not critical for what I need right now. So the engine is finished, bar a handful of outer cases. Let's have a look, shall we? Did you get the Easter egg last episode? There it is, kids. Oh, it's heavy. You got to get up there so you can see down and have a look, okay? In all its glory. What colour's that? Say it with me. Orange. So I'm a garishly coloured advocate. You know, I've got my wee little orange gear shifter lever on this side. I've got my radiator hoses, which will all be orange, and yeah, like I said, obviously a few caps still not here, but they'll be there, they're coming, and the carburetor too, that I have had ultrasonically cleaned from my man Frank, the Vapor Blaster. So that thing is just, it's brand new. It is bloody brand new. Oh, stop the clock. Good to go. Yeah, so I can't tell you the joy that these things give me. Just that you know, the separation from, yeah, your face could be on fire and you wouldn't know because you're just concentrating so hard on what you have to do here, and in the engagement, you know, like you're having breakfast thinking about bloody, you know, whatever it may be that you're challenged with at the time. Yeah, it's hard, but it's not impossible. So the next logical step, I'm assuming, is going to be the marriage of this thing into the freshly powder coated frame that's been hanging in the rafters of the Just a Ride headquarters for the last couple of weeks, waiting for this thing to come in and marry into it, and then obviously all the trimmings and the bits, and start thinking about this ignition issue that I have. CDI, ignition coil system stuff, whatever. So happy, another one in the can. All right, guys, I'm going to bounce. So you be safe and you be happy. Ciao!